What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett, and alongside me, someone making their Pub Sports Radio debut. A very exciting time. I'm excited to have him on. I talked to him before he was a spin doctor, and now I just call him Doc because I love what he does on Twitter and everything, and it's a great time. Doc, how are you doing over there?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, excited to be here. Been a viewer for a long time. Variety of shows. This one, Jimmy's, whole bunch. So excited to be here, and yeah, ready to make it a great day and win a bunch.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show, I think. I think, well, obviously, if people haven't been following me on Twitter or follow Pub Sports Radio on Twitter, they'll see the kind of heater I've been on.
You are
A low key heater. It's been nice, a good start, 10-3, start the year. As you know, I produce a lot of the shows here on Pub Sports Radio, and one of those shows I produce is No Clean Sheets, a soccer show. Shout out to Gordon Watson and Alex Classic Picks. And while on that show, Blue Jays were playing, and we were talking about the show and how I cap baseball now and all that great stuff. And then I told him I'd give him a live play, and shout out to the Blue Jays, of course. That's the play of the week, the play of the season so far. And I saw a lot of people on it, so I don't feel that special. It was kind of a layup when you think about it. But Blue Jays come back from 6-0. They win. I think the final score is 10-8. So a wild score. I get the plus 825 on that money line, so it makes me feel good about myself. It boosts the show stats, which feels nice. I actually thought about taking that off of my show record just so I can feel a little less we're doing good, but we're not doing that great. But we're doing a good job so far, so I can't hate it. Doc, how's your baseball season going so far?
Oh, going fantastic. My tout K prop play, I post one of them per day. 2-0 so far. With last night, I had under prop for Jose Barrios, and obviously zero Ks will win you any under. So I just wish they had an alternate line for under a half, because that probably would have paid pretty well. But no, going really, really well so far. And big card today, and there's actually a number of spots that I like.
Well, that is fantastic. I cannot wait to hear it. And by the way, let's shout out your Twitter before we get started so people can find you. I told you before the show, I'll keep telling you. I love the stuff that you did. I remember when you asked me one day about spin rates and where to find them. And I showed you the glory that is Baseball Savant. And then you took it from there and you just kept running. So I love the stuff you do. So please shout out to your Twitter handle and kind of talk about real quick and give yourself a quick introduction. How you got into baseball capping and all the spin rates and such.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. So handle is in my name at Spin Doc Sports. And I kind of refer to myself as the accidental capper. So I did this casually for a while, but never really anything like this. And to your point, when I started studying, because I'm a huge numbers nerd. I've worked in Excel and spreadsheets and everything with correlative data and formulas my pretty much my whole life. And so I love the numbers behind it. And when stuff started coming out about spin rate, and I started trying to correlate the rate of a pitcher's spin and the pitches that he throws with the number of strikeouts that he had. And I saw that there was a huge correlation. And then I always assume that the books know everything. So I'm like, well, this can't be a profitable angle because I'm sure the books know it. And then watching over a few weeks, I'm like, wow, they really don't know this. And made on in June of last year, made my first under strikeout prop play with Mike Fultonevich, which cashed very easily. And it's just been crazy ever since. And the more that I studied it, the more data, which I'll talk about that a little bit on the show here, the more data that I found where pitcher strikeouts is something where if you know what to look for and you know how to put it in mathematically, it can actually give you a nice advantage.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that what you do is awesome. And you're right. The books, kind of not wise on spin rates and stuff. That became the whole thing last year. And it's a factual thing that baseball teams are looking for, TrackMan, all that good stuff. And I think it's a great thing what you're doing. And by the way, let's give the chat a shout out real quick. Shout out to Real Deal Prime, of course. talking about we'll give you a TD and it still won't matter. Give you a 7, doesn't matter on that Blue Jays offense. Blue Jays are very good. Isaiah B, shout out to you. Moses, God, I call him Moses again. I would call him Moses Moody for some reason. I don't know why. Is it college basketball player? It's Moose Money. Shout out to Moose Money. Shamanaya, man, looked really good last night. Taking that no. I forgot how long he took that no hitter. I think it was 7, but what a great performance by him. Dav fan in the building. Unfortunately, had Jay's first 5 run line. That's a tough spot about taking the run lines there. Puzzler, real deal, like I just mentioned. Mark, I can't pronounce your last name, but I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you as always. West Philly Goons giving the RIP to Dwayne Haskins. Sad news coming out just now. RIP to him. Nutflush Allen, appreciate you for watching. Dennis Garcia, Paco Healy, all the guys, appreciate you guys for watching. Melvis Batan says, and by the way, Moses Moody on the Warriors now. So good. There we go. We got that mystery solved there. Appreciate that. So, Doc, I think it's time to start breaking down these games. Actually, you know what? Before I start, I completely forgot. I teased the people. I almost got into a physical altercation this morning. Doc, I'm a very emotional person, I guess. If people don't know me, if you look at me, you wouldn't see I have an RBF. I look like I don't care about anything, but if you get me fired up for a second, I will yell at you or whatever. And this guy basically is trying to charge me to park here, and I was like, there's 0 chance that I'm paying for parking where I work. There's just no chance. I don't know about you guys. I will not pay for parking where I work. Sorry. And I told him, like, I will not pay for parking here. I work here. Sorry. And he was like, oh, just call Jeff, who Jeff runs Southtown 101, owner of Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to him. I obviously know Jeff very well. I work with him every day. And I'm like, no problem. Absolutely 0 problem. I call him. He answers. And I might have been a dick here, but I don't even remember what I said. Maybe I blacked out of the anger. I told the guy basically to get the fuck over here to talk to Jeff, so he can just park my car and let me chill and get inside to start all this work I have to do. And he's like, oh, wow, this guy giving me a hard time. Oh, he's kind of a dick. And then I was like, okay, so yeah, I'm the dick for trying to fucking park, and you're the one trying to not let me park and charge me $20. Yeah, sure. And then eventually he fucking lets me park. He called me a motherfucker too. So I got a little heated, but we walked inside. We're in here now, and we're ready to cap some baseball. Doc, are you ready?
I'm ready. And I can hear your anger level just rising, even retelling the story.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will admit, this happened about an hour ago, and I am still a little angry about it. Yes, and that guy is outside the studio right now, parking cars still probably. I will probably see him again, and when I see him, I will probably flick him off and tell him to go fuck himself. So that's just one of those things, you know. Once you get on my bad side, it's just fuck you forever.
My commute into the studio was a little less hectic. I walked from my bedroom to my home studio. So,
that's not a palatial estate behind you. I thought
no,
that was your gambling.
Yeah, this is my villa. I'm hanging out with my boy Omar Navarro down in Mexico for the Ozark fans.
Oh, okay. All right. I see you. Okay. Well, that was a good show. And I was going to say that's a good show. And that was a good story. But let's get into the baseball. We have the whole card today to talk about, which is my exciting thing for the weekends. I get to talk about the whole card, break them down however I want to. And we will start with one of the more interesting games of the day yesterday, something that everyone kind of pinned as an over, but both these pitchers performed. Means and McClanahan dominated. We've got the Orioles versus the Rays again in game 2. We've got Jordan Lyles versus Drew Rasmussen. I know, as always, if I have any starters or probables wrong, let me know. I'll try to get through these lineups as well. Not many confirms, but we're still going to do this. So Jordan Lyles, not a pitcher I like personally. Former Texas Ranger. Shout out to him. He was part of the X-Nays when the Rangers decided that they want to start winning baseball games. Drew Rasmussen, considered an opener, I think still. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see what the Rays do here because the rules kind of did change with calling pitchers up and down. So I want to see if they're still doing their bullpenning. He did have a better ERA when he was technically a starter. It was a whole 2 points down as a 1.9 ERA when he comes out of the the starting pen, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. And then as a reliever, he had a 3.97. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they use Drew this whole year. I expect him to go maybe 1-2 innings. What about you, Doc? What do you think about this game? I don't have anything on this game. A fun game to watch, but not a game that I'll be betting on.
Yeah, so as for those that don't know me, my niche is strikeout props, either over or primarily unders, but some overs. And I don't really see a ton of value either way here. They're actually right before we went on the air, there wasn't even a line out for Rasmussen yet, which I was kind of hoping because it's against Baltimore that we could sneak a 4.5 in, which I think an under would have some value. If it was, it would probably be pretty juiced. But Lyles, I'm with you, Jose. Lyles really doesn't do it for me here. His strikeout prop right now is 4.5 at -150. So I think that there's value there's value in the line, but there's no value with the juice there. Lyles too. I'd be interested to see what he brings to the table this year, because he had been a fastball curveball pitcher all the way up until last year when he switched it up and went fastball slider. And it didn't really do much for his overall stats. His strikeout rate from his career average actually went down to from about 20% down to about 19. Walk rate stayed about the same. So the problem here with Lyles is that his stuff, when you look at like break charts and how much movement his pitches have, they just really don't move that much. And when you're a major league pitcher, his fastball, he can only get it up to 93. His movement chart just does not really do a whole lot for me. So I guess I probably would have a slight lean on the over here, maybe a first 5 over, but officially, this is just probably one where I would bet it live, if anything.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there, and I think you put perfectly when talking about Jordan Lyles. He just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. I can't bet on him at +180. I don't want to bet on Drew Rasmussen at a -200. I'm looking at the odds right now and on Bovada, and maybe if you're feeling ballsy, maybe a no run first inning -120. But like we said, Jordan Lyles just doesn't do it for me. This is one of the few games with the confirmed lineup. Cedric Mullins, Mountcastle, Santander, Mancini, all starting for the Orioles. The first 4 there, and that's a good first 4 for the Orioles. That's kind of their squad. And they've got Urias, Austin Hayes, Rougned Odor, who made an appearance yesterday, went 1-for-1. Jorge Mateo and my Venezuelan compadre Robinson Chirinos. And by the way, shout out to Santander, also Venezuelan, hit a home run yesterday. So Venezuelan power all over the place. For the Rays, Brandon Lau, Wander Franco, who wasted absolutely zero time, put up a crisp 3-for-4. G-Man Choi in the lineup today. Randy Arozarena, who also did not waste any time, going 2-for-4. I think this is Josh Lau. We've got a Brandon Lowe and a Josh Lau, I think. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe they're actually brothers and they're actually Josh Lowe too. So we'll find that out later. People in the chat, you'll have to help me with that. Francisco Mejia, Kevin Kiermaier, Taylor Walls makes his first start of the year at third base. And the Rays mascot, Brent Phillips, as well in the starting lineup. Yeah, I don't have anything on this game. I tell people this. This has been my thing for the first couple of days. I'm not going to bet the totals right now. I'm going to keep watching totals. I don't feel comfortable betting totals yet, over or under. I can tell you for sure right now, shout out to my man Noli Knows, I'm not going to bet an over. I refuse. We do not bet overs in this community. Total overs, I should say, because I did take some total bases and whatnot. But that's beside the point here. So we're going to both stay off this game, and we'll just move right along to the Chicago White Sox versus Casey Mize and the Detroit Tigers. Probably the game of the day yesterday. A lot of good games yesterday, but the Tigers come back. Miggy comes in, 2 RBI. Shout out to him, Venezuelan again. And they walk it off. I forgot who hit the walk. It was actually Javi Baez, I think, that hit the walk-off. Javi hits the walk-off. A.J. Pollock, it looks like he catches it for a half second, bounces off the wall pretty obviously. The fact that he tried to play it off and run away with the ball was awesome. I got a good laugh about that here. This is going to be a good game, I think. This is the Tigers early. They've got some, I should say, spunk. I don't know what we're going to call it, but they want to win this division. They're going after the division leaders. They get a win like that, I think it'll be a nice little game here. I want you to take over here, Doc. Talk about both these pitchers. Dylan Cease, a guy with some interesting splits, to say the least. Home 3.18 and away a 4.69. He's one of those guys. JT Brubaker, opening day start for the Pirates. That's another notable splits guy. I believe he struggled, obviously, but that's just might be Pirates related. And then Casey Mize, top pick, obviously that guy. Doc, what do you got on these two?
Yeah, so Cease was definitely a sticky stuff guy last year. You could tell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, big time, big time. But the one thing I'll give the guy credit for is that even after they cracked down, he really changed his pitch mix and ended up being able to hit a bunch of different spots. So he's a pretty traditional fastball, slider, curveball guy, and the slider is the wicked one. And so it had about a 50% whiff rate on that last year, and it's got this just really, really nasty 10-8 break down low and away. So if he's facing a right-handed hitter who can't get the bat around like that, it can cause all kinds of problems. I saw in the chat that said that he had good numbers against the Tigers. He does. He's their lineup today, he's got a 26.3% K rate in 57 plate appearances. That's a big enough sample size to, I think, make a pretty good determination. The only thing that I will say about Cease is that he can get in trouble with his walks. Only in the 22nd percentile over the last few years for walk rate. Part of it is because of that slider that he throws. It's just got this nasty low and away break. So if you can lay off of it, you can get a lot of free passes here. Now, Detroit, they added some pieces. Obviously, they added Baez. They added a few other guys. And they're actually my pick. They're my preseason pick to win the AL Central. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I say this as a Minnesota resident and a Twins fan.
Okay.
It pained me to do it, but yes, the Detroit was my preseason pick to win the AL Central. But when you look at the Tigers' swing metrics, they were in the bottom third for making contact outside the zone, inside the zone. And with a pitcher like Cease, that is not where you want to be. The other thing that's in play here, and this is something that I study extensively, is the umpire today for that game is Tumpain. Yes. And Tumpain does have a higher than normal strikeout rate, and he has about an average walk rate. So his strike zone historically has been a little wider than other umpires. And when you're a pitcher that throws just that nasty breaking slider, that can work in your favor for Cease. So his line right now is at 6.5. The under is set at -135. I think the over was like a +105. Minor value on the over here. It's kind of sort of an official play. I think you can bet it if you want, just because I can see him causing problems for a number of Detroit's hitters, and especially if the strike zone's a little bigger. Casey Mize, I am all about Detroit's young pitchers this year. I am all about Skubal and Mize. Probably Skubal a little bit more, but Mize has some good metrics against the Sox lineup today. 29.4, almost a 30% K rate lifetime against them. And Mize is another pitcher too, where you might have forgotten about him because he kind of had his innings reduced towards the middle to end of last year because they had put such a heavy burden on him in the earlier part of the season. But this guy's got some great stuff. He looked great in spring training too. And Mize is another traditional pitcher, has some really, really good stuff. I think that Mize will battle. So I'm not sure that I like anything on the first five here, because I think that this could be maybe a first five under if you want, but if I'm having a look here, it would probably be, especially if you can get it at plus money on the over for Cease's strikeouts. I can see him getting to 7 exactly.
Wow, I love it, and I love the umpire breakdown too. That's something I just don't have time to do, and I love that shit. If I would have known Laz Diaz was the umpire for the Red Sox yesterday, I would have been a little more hesitant in betting the Red Sox, because Laz Diaz and the Red Sox have a checkered history, to say the least. I was actually going to look at my plays, because sometimes I can just sit here and cap the games and just forget about what plays I have so far. And if I have any additions, I will let obviously everyone know. And if you want to make anything official, Doc, you just let me know as well. And then I'll write that down for us, because I do want to try to at least track our guest records a little bit. So tell the people how good we're doing. And by the way, I just wanted to shout this out as well. These are the plays that I already put in. I tweeted them out, so go follow me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett if you're interested, and you'll probably get spammed with a bunch of baseball too. So have fun with that. Is Seattle Mariners money line plus 117. I took the Red Sox money line, obviously, plus 139. This was all, by the way, I tweeted this at 1:30 in the morning, so these lines have moved, which makes me feel a little better about myself. Cleveland Guardians money line at even money, and I took the Angels money line at even money too. And I think, Doc, that's the game I'm most excited about for you to talk about. I cannot wait for you to talk about Justin Verlander because I've got my theories about Justin.
Yep. I got my stuff. I'm ready for him.
Good. Fantastic. I cannot wait for that. The chat right now is leaning Tigers this way too. I think the short plus money, I mean, I think I've been dominating those spots so far. I don't know what it is, but I do like the Tigers in this situation. I need to see Dylan Cease prove it to me again. You know, that's just one of those things. He was a good pitcher last year, struggled the year before. Come out and do it again. You know, if I have to take the loss early in the season for you to prove to me that you're a good pitcher again and take a nice plus money price on the Tigers, that's fine. So I'm not going to make it official here, but I would also lean towards the Tigers, and I do like that first 5 under look as well. Shout out to Brian here shouting it out too.
And
so I appreciate it.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I will make that one official. First 5 under. Yep.
Oh, look at that.
First, I will make that one official.
Could you find the juice for me as I write that down?
I will.
We'll shout that out and the number as well, please. But while you do that, we will move on. Next game on the card, the Seattle Mariners versus your Minnesota Twins. Now I'm realizing Sonny Gray versus Logan Gilbert. I'm not a Sonny Gray guy, as you could tell. I just told everyone I took Seattle Mariners money line last night. I think Sonny Gray will struggle here a bit. I'm not sold on the Minnesota Twins pitching. Obviously, they're trying their best to fill those holes. Chris Paddock. I honestly am a little skeptical on Paddock. Obviously, the Padres were out on Paddock because they were trying to ship him out as fucking bad as possible. Every trade rumor was either Paddock or Hosmer. So he's now on the Twins. Gray's not. Man, I just don't think Gray's that guy anymore. You know, I think that the Seattle Mariners are a good hitting squad, and they did cash yesterday for me. Like I said, I took their money line at 2-1 ball game. Shout out to Mitch Haniger, who did the only offense of the game. And Joe Ryan looked great, by the way, just some control issues. I think he'll get better throughout the year. But, you know, I would say he struggled in the control aspect, but still ended up having a good line. So shout out to Joe. Like I said, I took Seattle Mariners money line. I think they're the better squad flat out. And if I can get plus money on the team that I think is better, I tried to simplify it, Doc, and say, give me the better team here. So give me the Seattle Mariners. Let me run down the lineups real fast. For the Twins, this is an official lineup too, by the way. Buxton, Arias, Carlos Correa, who I'd love to hear your thoughts on here in a moment. Polanco, Alex Kirilloff gets in there. Miguel Sano batting kind of lower than expected, but he's down there. Kepler, Ryan Jeffers, and the brother, I believe, of our good friend. I don't remember if his name is actually Flash, but I call him Flash Gordon. D Gordon. It's D Strange Gordon, actually, now. So shout out to them, and Nick Gordon hitting at the bottom of the order. For the Mariners, Adam Frazier, good bat. You've got Jesse Winker, Mitch Haniger, who I said earlier did all the work yesterday. Ty France, former San Antonio Mission, so shout out to him. Jared Kelenic, who I'll be watching throughout the year to see how he does. Julio Rodriguez, my Dominican nightmare. I've literally had nightmares about him playing baseball against Venezuela. He is one of my least favorite players in all of baseball, just because he's so good for the Dominican and knocked out Venezuela of the Baseball Olympics. He's a stud. I didn't get to watch any of his at-bats, but I will be watching this game closely today. Eugenio Suarez, Venezuelan guy right there. Tom Murphy and J.P. Crawford rounding it out. Doc, what you got on this game? Anything?
Yeah, I wish I could bet with confidence on my Twins, but I cannot. I definitely do like the Mariners first 5 money line here. And, you know, when I look at Sonny Gray, this is like the most Minnesota Twins-esque move that there is, because we never spend up on pitching. We never give huge contracts to pitchers. Yes, I know we gave Correa a massive contract, but that's a different story. But we never spend up on pitchers. We get guys like Sonny Gray who are economically affordable and who once had some good stuff, and we might be able to squeeze an extra year out of them. Sonny Gray has changed up his pitch mix each of the last 3 years. So he used to be fastball, curveball, slider. Then he was curve, sinker, fastball. And last year he was sinker, fastball, curveball. Those all three of them at a pretty normal rate or pretty even rate across the board. But the big pitch for him is his curve. That's been his put away pitch for his entire career. Break on his curve has been really down the last few years. In fact, last season, his curve went from being almost 10 inches of break above MLB average to only 3.6 last year. And so when you have a pitcher that throws breaking ball, that relies on breaking balls like that, and they can't get that kind of break, especially a pitcher that the top pitch that they throw percentage wise is a sinker. A sinker is not a strikeout pitch. A sinker is not a put away pitch. So you can just see some of the numbers dropping in Sonny Gray. I wouldn't be surprised if the Twins can maybe squeeze like a half a season of good baseball out of him. But I just think that there's water's too strong today. I don't know about the full game here, but I do like the Seattle first five.
That's awesome. I love that, the movement and the break and everything. I love that shit. So that's awesome. Shout out to the chat again real quick. We'll keep shouting them out throughout the show because you guys are the best. Rants, he gets Rays over. I like that. Or maybe the Rays is over. Who knows? Mariners first five. Christian Comentini on the right track there. Talk sports with JT. No run first inning in this game. Don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that at all. Maybe we'll see. I'll check the price on that here later. God, I'm going to keep calling him Moses. Moose Money. Padres have a horrendous development. That's what it seems like, man. I don't know what it is. Tatis was just that diamond in the rough, I guess. I don't know. And especially because I was the bat boy for the AA team, and I've seen the development. It's a little weird, I guess. I'll agree with you there.
And then, sorry, just one more thing about the Twins. There are a few hitters in their lineup that can struggle with off-speed stuff. And the one thing that I do notice about Logan Gilbert here is that he has one of the biggest splits when it comes to fastball and changeup. So his fastball average is about 95 and his changeup is under 80. Normally you see a changeup average in the low 80s, but his is under, and he throws some like in the mid 70s. So it's just this wicked change of pace pitch. The other thing that I see about his fastball is he goes way up and in on his fastball. His fastball goes from when it rises, it goes from about 12 to 2. And I mean, it goes way up in the zone. And some of his vertical break upwards is like 50 to 60% above MLB average. So what if you watch today, what he will do is we'll try to go way up in the zone on the fastball and then just on a 2-strike count, just try to work in almost looking like a softball pitch, just a big slow change up to have hitters get ahead of him. You also have some hitters on the Twins that, as much as I love them, they're my home team. I think that they are can be very impatient at the plate. Miguel Sano would be one of them. It's just horribly impatient. I think the Polanco can be impatient too. So what I'm worried about with this one is I'm worried about a steady diet of fastballs up and in, getting some fouls off, maybe a few breaking balls in there, and then just that big slow breaking ball, like almost right down the heart of the plate that they're way out in front of. So for Logan Gilbert though, from his Ks right now are 5.5 at plus 110. I think that there's some value in that. It's not something that I'm probably going to be playing even at the plus money, just because he hasn't been traditionally a strikeout pitcher, but he is a guy that gets guys out. He's a guy that relies on his field, on his infield and outfield, and target field is more of a pitcher's park. So also when you look at the umpire for this one, you have a pretty neutral umpire with Foster as the ump, I believe. His strikeout rate and walk rate are pretty average here, but he's also one of the more consistent umps in Major League Baseball. He ranks very highly in accuracy, very highly in consistency. So I think that it's another reason why I'm concerned, because if he throws that big slow breaking ball even anywhere near the plate, and it freezes the Twins hitters, you could also see him taking some strikes too. So minor value on the over, but I still like Seattle first 5 money line here.
Yeah, I love that. And I looked at the first or the no run first inning. Mark mentioned that no runs minus 130 at BetMGM, minus 120 at Bovada. A little too juicy for me. I'm going to stay off of it. I'm trying not to make these reckless ads because I just want to bet a no run first inning because I love them so much. So I'm going to stay off of this one. But I like the Mariners full game in this game. I think they ended up winning. I think they're a good squad. And I like the first 5 too. So, and I'll probably sit here and think about that first 5 as we go on, and maybe I'll add it as well and get the full game split there too. So that'll be fun. That will be a fun game to watch. All right, number 4 on this list. And by the way, Doc, I don't know if you know this, but I did in fact sign myself up for 200 plus days of work straight, everyday baseball show. And our friend Jimmy the Bag mentioned that I will be on a Cal Ripken Jr.-esque, and this, as always on this show, this is our 3rd show. Put up our 3s. We're on the 3rd show today. Let's update the say hey counter. 3rd one there, and as we do that, we'll talk about the Pirates versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Man, the Cardinals just mashing on those Pirates. Just mash, mash, mash. Tyler O'Neill home run, Arenado a home run. We've got Mitch Keller versus Miles Mikolas today. 9 starts for Mikolas last year. Pitcher that I was high on, but haven't seen him in a minute, so we'll see what happens here. Mitch Keller on the other side, a little 5-11 action last year, 47% hard hit rate, so that's not what you want to see there out of a starter. But we'll let you talk about the starting pitchers a little further, Doc. On the lineups for these guys confirmed for the St. Louis Cardinals, got Dylan Carlson 1 for 3 last night. Pretty good. And I think my favorite stat line of the year so far, a very Paul Goldschmidt stat line for Goldie. 1 for 1, 4 walks. 4 walks for Paul Goldschmidt. So shout out to him. Very funny stat line there. Tyler O'Neill, the best left fielder in baseball. 5 RBIs and a home run yesterday. Nolan gets on the board, like I said, gets his 2 from the home run. Paul DeJong, Dickerson, Yachty, Harrison Bader, Tommy Edman, all in that lineup. For the Pirates, our first injury question of the year, Ke'Bryan Hayes comes out of the game super early with a wrist. He's RotoWire kind of expects him to play today, so we'll see there. They just made an investment on him, so I don't know 100%. But they also have Daniel Vogelbach leading off, which just visually is just stupendous. Love when a thick king is leading off a baseball game. Brian Reynolds, Hayes allegedly batting 3rd. You got Yoshi Tsugo, Kevin Newman, not the golfer, Cole Tucker, Ben Gamel, Roberto Perez, and Hoy Park, who is not in my book. I'm a big fan of Korean baseball players. Hoy Park, not in my book. So shout out to you, Hoy Park. We'll be watching today. Want to see how you do. I got nothing on this game. Tough game to cap. A minus 170 favorite, not what I'm trying to bet on. Pirates lowly, unfortunately lowly. I hope they end up coming back. No run first inning is minus 115 both ways on Bovada with a total at 8. Low total, I think. Low total. Think it could get over. I guess I'd lean slightly to the over, but not making that official because, as my good friend Noli would say, I'm not an over better. What about you, Doc? What do you got on these pitchers?
I hate both these pitchers so much. I really do. They're. I mean, my God. So you look at Mikolas, lifetime against the Pirates lineup, 18.2% strikeout rate. That's just hideous. And then you look at Keller, 22% again, in even in 63 plate appearances against the Cardinals. That's not good either. You look at both of these guys. You look at Keller last year. His chase rate and his whiff rate were both in under the 20th percentile. So that means 80% of Major League Baseball pitchers got hitters to chase and swing and miss better than him. Now, you might think, okay, fine, he's a guy that puts the ball in play because you think about a guy like Steven Matz. I know it's like last year in spots it was trendy to fade and hate on Steven Matz, but I'll give Matz credit. He is good at getting guys to put the ball in play, like get guys to put the ball on the ground, et cetera, et cetera. Mitch Keller doesn't even do that either. He's in the 12th percentile for walk rate, and has a 10.6% walk rate. By comparison, when you think about, and we'll talk about him in a second, a guy like Gausman or a guy like Woodruff, both of them are in the sixes. And when you factor that over a start, I mean, that's just horrible. So it's too bad that the Cardinals are juiced so much, because I would be all over the Cardinals here. There's just nothing to like about Mitch Keller for me as a major league starter. Everything he throws is average. I don't, his pitch mix is pretty traditional. His fastball tops out at 93.5, and his whiff rate on his fastball is only 17%. I don't want to spend the whole show just hating on this guy, but there's just not a whole lot to like here. So I think that the other thing that's in the favor, if you wanted to bet an over, if you were an over better, is you do have a hitter's umpire here in Todd Tishanor, I believe is how you say his last name, but very, very solid hitter's ump. Has a very higher than normal walk rate. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about a guy like Keller, who has a high walk rate as well. Those can lead to runs. So I think that if you're going to look at an over, you probably want to look at first five here. So actually, you know what? I'll make that an official one. First five over here. Yeah, I'll make it first five. I can honestly see Keller just getting smacked around today. I really can. And Mikolas as a pitcher, some of his other advanced metrics look okay, but he's actually not a bad pitcher for the Cardinals system. For those that don't know, last year the Cardinals defense, and they return close to everybody, they actually return most everybody from a team in the field that ranked number 1 in runs saved by your field. So basically, like plays that should have been a run that your field made a great play and saved one. So they rank number 1 in that. And for a pitcher that pitches to contact like Mikolas does, that's actually a pretty good mix. That was also why I mentioned Steven Matz. I thought Steven Matz was a good signing for the Cardinals, because he's a pitcher that pitches to get guys to put the ball in play as well. So when you have a field like that behind you, that's something that you can do. So first five, but yeah, first five over here for me. If you want to isolate it and take the Cardinals first 5 team total over, you can do that as well, because I see many worlds here where they just beat the hell out of Keller.
The chat is also picking up on this too. Jimmy Gomez even saying sounds like a first 5 over breakdown, and they're saying minus or 4.5. What do you think about the Cardinals first 5 minus a half, minus 110? That's what I wrote down. I was looking at it, and I think that's where I'm going to lean here.
I think you can do that too. I think you absolutely can do that one.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and make that official too. I'll add on all that on, and I'll bet that here in a bit. Cardinals first 5 minus a half at minus 110 on Bovada. So shout out to that, and I've got you locked in as well for the first 5 under. First 5 over 4.5 at minus 105.
Yep.
So yes, that'll be a good game. I'm excited to watch a Pirates game now. Here we go. Excited. All right. So next game here, we've gone through 4 games. It's a great time. Game that's supposed to be played yesterday. A little postponement, of course, in Wrigley Field. We've got the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Cubs. Brandon Woodruff versus Justin Steele again. Obvious pitching advantage here. I kind of don't want to bet on this game in the respects that the Cubs are how can I say this? The Cubs start off hot, I guess, at Wrigley Field. The fans come out early. Wrigley Field gets packed. Everyone loves going to a baseball game early, getting the Brewers in with the boys, and it's a good atmosphere. That's what happened on opening day. I think the atmosphere kind of pushed them and propelled them into that dub a little bit. It definitely helped. So I kind of wanted to stay off the Cubs early, especially on the road or at home. But Brandon Woodruff is the one guy that you'll look at and you're like, man, he's as cold as ice. One of the best pitchers in baseball. He's been through some shit, seen it all. I don't know what it is though, Doc. And I think we might have to have a therapy session here, and you might have to explain to me why I don't feel comfortable betting on Brandon Woodruff. I don't like this Brewers team as a whole, to be honest. I chose the Cardinals to win this division. That was my big upset of the year, futures wise, along with the Phillies. I guess that will count too. But I just I don't know what it is about this team. Official lineup for these guys: McCutcheon leading off, 2 for 5 yesterday. He'll be ageless. Willie Adames, another 2 for 5, got an RBI. Yelich, who, man, I hope he comes back I should say, I hope he just gets healthy. I don't know what it is, man. I just want him to be back to almost Barry Bonds again. He's putting up those numbers, so I want to see that. Hunter Renfroe, Keston Hiura makes his debut this year. Hoping good things for him. Another former San Antonio Mission. Tyrone Taylor, I believe, in center field. Colton Wong, Mike Brasso getting in there, and Victor Caratini starting for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs, they bring out Rafael Ortega, name that, again, not in my book there. Had to look him up. Rafael Ortega DHing for the Cubs. Nick Madrigal, one of my favorite players in baseball. Short king, average king. 0 for 3 yesterday, but believe in him still. Wilson Contreras, Venezuelan legend. Ian Happ, a 3 for 4 day. 2 ribs, not a big deal. Frank Swindell, 0 for 4. Seiya Suzuki comes in, a 1 for 2, not bad. Jason Hayward, 2 for 4. Good start for an old legend. Legend relative, I guess. 0 for 3 for Patrick Wisdom and Nico Horner, rounding out that infield and lineup with a home run last night, or I guess 2 nights ago, too. What do you think about these pitchers? Do you have any official plays here?
Yeah, so the umpire for this game was actually played a significant part for me because it's Lance Barksdale. And Lance Barksdale,
I've heard that name.
Yeah, so Lance Barksdale is not an Alfonso Marquez. So for those of you that like to bet on overs, for those of you that like to bet on under strikeout props, if Alfonso Marquez is umpiring your game, you have an advantage from the get-go because he is my spirit animal when it comes to K-prop unders. However, the umpire for this game is Lance Barksdale. So a solid hitter's umpire, very, very hitter slanted here. And he is actually reasonably accurate. So he's one of the more accurate umps in baseball, except for the problem here is that he has a very, very low strikeout rate and a very, very high walk rate, almost 9% over the course of his career. Now, when you couple that with, and this is where I talked about earlier, where I like to go with correlative data, I always like to match up the pitchers with the umpire. And so Brandon Woodruff has not had a lot of success with Lance Barksdale behind the plate. In fact, he's only struck out one guy in almost 20 plate appearances, and his ERA under Barksdale is 21 with a 3.33 whip. So obviously the sample size makes you think, okay, well, maybe that's not like something to focus on. But when you compare Woodruff to other umpires that call games similar to Barksdale, you look and you see that ERAs are in the 5s and the 6s. So I'm not saying that Woodruff is a pitcher that relies on an umpire, except for when you look at his pitch mix, he is a guy that does throw a pretty wicked curveball. And when he throws his curveball, it's down and away and tries to catch that, just nip the outside corners. So if he's not getting that call, he can run into some 2-3 ball counts pretty easily. Where I go with this one here too is that Woodruff's lifetime or recent strikeout percentage is 28.3. Against the Cubs, it's only 25.4 in almost 100 plate appearances. So there's a big enough sample size here. I am actually I told myself that I wasn't going to give a play on every damn game here, but I am going to go with plus 190 for the Cubs first 5 money line.
Wow. You know what? Solidarity. I'm joining you.
I'm going to go. I think, last year the Cubs were the least disciplined team in Major League Baseball by 100 miles. For those that were rocking with me last year for my VIP stuff, we had what was called a no-fly list, and the Cubs were number 1 on that no-fly list, and they never got off. So meaning never ever take an under prop with the Cubs. They have shown a lot of discipline in that first game. So one game, you know, you don't want to overreact. However, they've made some changes to their lineup. They made some changes to their coaching staff, and those things can make a difference early in the season. So I think that combination with the plus 190 is good enough value.
I love that. I love that. I will take that with you. Right now, Bovada's not offering the money line. I'm only getting plus a half, minus 115, which obviously the little safer play. So I don't hate that at all. But I like that a lot, man. I appreciate that. And I wanted to go through some numbers for Burns real quick. You can look at his career numbers against these guys. They're not the best, but I wouldn't dissuade anyone from going against him here. 1 for 2, 1 for 1. 2 for 13 from or 5 Ks from Wilson Contreras, and he's what we would call an undisciplined swinger like Javi Baez. He got that gene from him. Ian Happ, 3 for 21, 7 Ks, but he has a home run off of him. Hayward, 3 for 20, 5 Ks. Patrick Wisdom, 1 for 4, and Nico Horner, 1 for 6. So I literally everyone in the lineup that has seen him has gotten a hit off of him, even in a small sample size. So I will take the Cubs with you today. I'm going to keep refreshing the Bovada page and see how long it takes them to put that money line up. But I'm absolutely going to take Cubs first 5 in some form or fashion with you today. And how do you feel about our man Justin Steele? Is any concern on that end?
Not really. Decent stuff. The only thing that I try to do, at least early in the season, so I keep pretty meticulous track of all my strikeout props and strikeout plays, and the left-handers early in the season are always tricky, especially left-handers that are younger that guys haven't seen that much. So there's some limited history here. I typically just slash lefties off of my potential strikeout prop card right off the bat, at least until probably about mid-May or so. There's a lot of volatility, and actually looking at like all my lines last year for right-handed pitchers at home, right-handed pitchers on the road, left at home, left on the road. Left-handed pitchers on the road was the only combination of those two that I finished slightly down in units. Everything else was green. So that told me that it's just tricky spot. And it's something that even though on paper you would look at it and you would see that, yeah, the Brewers probably on paper have an advantage. It's just something that I want to stay away from early in the season.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. I will be taking the Cubs first 5 at some point. We'll see what odds I get on those. And I just want to take a second again to shout out the chat. Appreciate everyone for watching. 123, 130-ish people watching. We appreciate you guys as always. Baseball, not dead yet. We were out here betting it, having fun. Lucius Fox, Rant, Crystal Warren, Moose money. There we go. Got it right for once. Good. Jamal Martin, real deal. Thanks, everyone. Top set. Shout out to you, Elio. Appreciate you. Hope the poker cards are treating you nice and well. Brian, appreciate it. Jimmy, yes, all the guys. Thanks for watching. Drop the comment. Drop a like, too, because we'd appreciate that. It helps us in the algorithm, get the show out to more people. All that good stuff. All right, we broke the hell out of that game down. By the way, we're 48 minutes in. We've got a bunch of games left, so let's try to pick up the pace a little bit here. Texas Rangers versus the Toronto Blue Jays. I've got nothing on this game. I will keep this one short and sweet. Thank you to the Blue Jays. Let me send you kisses. Yes, thank you, Blue Jays. Yes. Thank you to the offense. Thank you, Teoscar Hernandez. Plus 800 in my pocket. I appreciate that. That was awesome. I mean, what can you say? What can you say about that offense? I will continue to do that throughout the year, too. At any point, if the Blue Jays are down, early 6-0, whatever, you give me a plus 800 on the Blue Jays with that offense. I'll take the chance. I'll bite the apple. Why not? Their offense is quick strike, and I think I wanted to talk about the anatomy of a comeback like that. Yeah, you're up 6-0. You obviously start, you take yourself off the brakes a little bit. The pitchers come in, they just trying to throw strikes, and momentum is a real thing, especially in baseball, I think. And it just, torpedoed and tumbled down. And the Blue Jays, you can't do that against the Blue Jays. If you want to beat the Blue Jays, you have to keep scoring. You have to keep doing it. And when you're up 6-0 like that early, the bats kind of be like, we're up 6-0. We don't have nothing to worry about. The pitching will handle it. And then the Blue Jays are too good for that. So I just think they're too good. I want to see Kevin Gausman today. I'm excited to see it. The Blue Jays, or I guess I should say Blue Jays fans, have been ranting about their pitching coach, the guy who got a DUI. all off season. He's saying he's a great coach. He's a great coach. Robbie Ray, all this stuff. Well, the guys in San Francisco are also great coaches too. They revived Kevin Gausman to be a good pitcher again, and I need to see him visually. Need to see him throw well again in Toronto. I need to see it again. And I don't know. I don't know where Jose Barrios falls in all this. You know, I was never a Jose Barrios guy. I've been saying it for a while. I don't think he's an ace, and I don't think this Blue Jays pitching staff is better than it was last year. I still think they'll win the division, obviously, but I just need to see it. So I don't want to bet him at minus 200. Live betting opportunity, obviously, if the Rangers go up again early, we'll see if they can actually hold the lead. Marcus Semien and Corey Seager obviously do their thing, and it was fun to watch. But what do you think here about Gausman and Dane Dunning here, Doc?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the Blue Jays too, but it's to Barrios for having no strikeouts, because when you give out an under prop publicly, that always helps you. No, I have nothing on this game. I agree with pretty much every point that you said there too. So this is a total pass for me. I did see a question up earlier in the chat from Dan Kelly. Is no more DH changing my strikeout numbers? Yes, it is for National League pitchers, because on average, National League starters would strike out, and this is over the course of about last 10 seasons, about 2.2% more than American League starters. And obviously that would be the pitcher. That would be the, quote unquote free strikeout. The reason why it's not higher is because usually by the fifth, there's a lot of third and beyond starters for the National League that when it was their turn in the rotation, they would just get pinch hit for. So, and then, then they would have a hitter up instead of a pitcher. So yes, worked that into the model already, but yeah, the advantage for National League pitchers for strikeouts was about 2.2 to about 2.5%, but that's been obviously negated by the addition of a DH.
Okay, good. Well, hey, thanks for answering that question, and shout out to the chat. I keep seeing Chief in the chat. I keep wanting to call him Chief Keef, so appreciate you, Chief Keef. Dan Kelly, like you said in the chat too, Lucius Fox, all the guys, appreciate you guys for wanting. Logan College, appreciate it. We're back. Where is Jimmy? Jimmy does not work on the weekends. He's got a family and kids to take care of. Let the young buck run wild that he doesn't have a kid on the weekend. Let me do this thing. Lucius Fox, everyone, thanks, appreciate it. Like I said, I've got nothing on this game. We'll move on. It'll be a fun game to watch if you're a Blue Jays fan. Again, it'll always be fun to watch that offense. So shout out to them, and I hope they keep it up. Next game that means a lot to me, Doc, and I'll be interested to hear what you think about it. Red Sox Yankees, official play here. Maybe the I'm a simp, I'm a dummy play. Red Sox money line. I took it last night at plus 139. Right now on Bovada, it's plus 126. I need to understand why the books are putting lines like this on a Yankees team that is not good. I don't understand it. It boggles my mind. Minus 150 with Garrett Cole on the mound, sure. Minus 150 with Luis Severino, who hasn't pitched in 2 years, basically? What? Even in the little shit box that they have at Yankee Stadium, even then, what? That doesn't make sense to me. That's baffling decision there. I've been negative on the Yankees the whole year, and everyone, of course, will say, I can see your Red Sox underwear. I can see your Red Sox bias, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't get it, Doc. I really don't understand what people are seeing, what the books are seeing in this Yankees team that will make them a minus 150 favorite against a Red Sox team who played them just as good as they did last year, beat them in the playoffs. You lose game one, obviously, but they had to come back, a Red Sox bullpen implosion, which is going to piss me off throughout the whole year, but we'll ride it out. Jake Diekman, throw strikes, please. And we'll see. But I took the Red Sox plus 139 last night. I don't understand it. So you let me know. Maybe I'm the crazy one, Doc. Let me know.
No, you're not. This is a weird line for me. I can't even begin to cap anything with like a K prop line for Severino because, to your point, I mean, he hasn't pitched in over 2 years. So, I mean, his numbers before when he pitched were pretty good, but that was a whole different set of circumstances. That's a whole different kettle of fish. So, I look at a guy like Pivetta, and decent metrics, decent numbers against the Yankees. Not stellar, but not bad either. And I also look here, and you have a pitcher's umpire in Brian O'Nora, who actually has been very, very friendly to pitchers who throw like he does. So, and then, I personally think that I am just not a fan of the Yankees plate discipline at all. I think they take way too many first pitches. And I think the teams know that, so it can get early strikes on them. And then I also think that late in the count, then they're swinging and whiffing, just swinging wildly at it. So I'm with you here. I'm not going to make it official. I assumed that you would go Red Sox, and I'm going to make that one all you. So, but I'm right there with you. I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, I think I kind of do, is that whenever you bet on the Yankees, it's kind of like, when you would bet on, say, like the Lakers or any team like that, is that there's always the Yankees tax, right?
Yeah, so that's what Lucius Fox is saying too with the
There's
Dodgers.
always the Yankees tax. Mm-hmm. But so there's not a chance in hell that I would pay it, facing a normal, solid, good starter versus a guy that hasn't pitched, since almost like pre-COVID.
Yeah, and insanity again. I just keep saying that, and I'm realizing that maybe I'm stepping in the shit again. And last night, or I should say yesterday, I took Red Sox team total along with their money line to, I guess kind of offset. I thought they would both win, obviously, but it ended up offsetting one with the other. Red Sox team total over 4 is minus 110. And I think I'm going to take that, honestly. I started off saying, I don't know if I'm going to take it, but I'll take the push if I get the 4. But he has not pitched for 2 years. And if we think that he's going to come out here and shove, then just prove it to me, Luis Severino. Prove it to me. And on top of that, Yankees used a shitload of pitchers yesterday. A hell of a lot of pitchers yesterday. Garrett Cole only goes 4, and they just start bringing the parade of arms. And shout out to them. They pitched well. They did better than I expected. I'm low on this Yankees bullpen, but we'll see. I mean, I don't. Michael King looked like Andrew Miller for some reason, and I was like, okay, we'll see how long this lasts. Whatever. Johnny Lasagna, as I call him, he looked good too. I don't think he'll be available today. So give me the Red Sox full game money line, like I said, plus 139. And I'm taking the Red Sox team total officially at minus 110 for the 4 on Bovada. If I get the push, that's fine. I'll take it. But I don't understand why the books keep laying these numbers with the Yankees. I just don't. And if I lose the money, then I lose the money. I forgot who it was. I think it was Alfonso Scott here. Yeah, it is. As a Yankees fan, I hope we sweep them. Alfonso, I mean, you can give me a rational take on this. And he says yes run in the first inning. I don't hate that either. That's a good look right there. If you can get a good plus money on it. But I mean, I'm obviously a Red Sox fan. Maybe I'm biased. You tell me. Do you like your team? Do you like what the Yankees? I mean.
Yeah, so one of the big things that I use in my strikeout props is there's a whole host of metrics on plate discipline, and one of and just a little hint for everybody, one of my golden metrics is one called CSW, and CSW means called strikes plus whiffs. And the New York Yankees, so obviously limited sample size this year, but this goes back to last year too. There are 30 teams in Major League Baseball. The New York Yankees ranked 29th in CSW percentage so far. MLB average last year was about 24 to 25%. Yankees first game, 36.4%. I told you, they take way too many pitches. You also have a pitcher in Pivetta who has a solid first strike percentage. Last year was 63.4, which actually ranked in the top, I think 33% of all starters. So what you have then is you have a lineup that, based on how they swing and based on how they hit, is going to get down in counts again. So when you factor that in with a pitcher like Severino, I have no idea why anyone would pay juice on the Yankees in this game. None. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I'm putting my money behind the Red Sox, but I'm sure as hell not betting on New York.
No, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think those numbers are just crazy. I don't get it. And if it costs me money to find out, then it'll cost me money to find out. That's what this baseball season is. It's a big learning experience. So we'll figure it out one way or another if this Yankees squad is good or not. Lineups are the usual suspects. I don't want to go through all of them because we're gone a little longer than I wanted to. But lineups usual suspects, of course. Donaldson will be leading off allegedly, according to RotoWire, but we'll see. I think it'll be fun game to watch. And I believe in Nick Pivetta, so I expect the Red Sox to win. And it'll set up for a nice Game 3 in the Bronx. I think they rescheduled it, but we'll see. It'll be fun. All right, next game. We have fun game. I think another potential game of the day yesterday. I was shocked at the result, but when I saw Jazz Chisholm hit that home run, oh, baby, it made me feel things. I felt things I've never felt before. Miami Marlins versus the San Francisco Giants. Jazz Chisholm, I could talk about Jazz Chisholm forever. I love Jazz Chisholm. He's one of the better second basemen in baseball. I think he's underrated right now. He's going to get his bat in order. He's going to make $1 billion because he has a glove company, and the gloves look like ice cream cones, tacos, stuff like that. That's going to make $1 billion. That's going to be ridiculous. So shout out to Jazz, and the Euro step home run became a thing, and I just think he's awesome. So obviously, as you guys can tell, I very much enjoy him. Pablo Lopez on the mound, my Venezuelan brother, my close personal friend, actually. We DM every once in a while. And by we DM, I mean I send him a compliment and he says thank you. So there we go. Carlos Rodon making his Giants debut. I got a lot of mixed emotions with Rodon, too. I was never really a Rodon guy. Obviously, he dominated last year, not always the healthiest. I would lean again towards the Marlins here. I don't want to lay this juice. Honestly, I would thinking about a first 5 under here. I do like both of these pitchers, but you will know a lot more about these pitchers than I will, Doc. I'll run through some lineups. We've got Solar Power, Jorge Soler's leading off, Garrett Cooper, Jesus Aguilar, Avesiel Garcia, Jesus Sanchez, Brian Anderson, that funky music Jazz. I hope you guys put on Kenny G last night for that. Whew. Jacob Stallings, Miggy Rojas, and for the Giants, Yaz, Brandon Bell, Crawford, the little Darren Ruff, and by the way, Joey Bart too. Shout out to him, appreciate that. Jock Peterson, and then it's Joe, and then it's Ruff, Wilmer, Bart, Estrada, and Steven Duggar. A great name, a great baseball name. Doc, anything here for this game?
No, not really. Rodon obviously being a lefty and last year a solid lefty. At home, that was a lethal combination for anything strikeout prop I tried to do last year. So I'm just staying away from it. And so I'm probably just going to pass on this game entirely.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, there's metrics about these guys that I could talk about, but there's other games to get to. So we can just go on.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. We'll move on to another potentially past game, the Oakland Athletics versus the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. They're going to mash the ball. They're going to play okay defense, probably a bad defense at times, and they'll give up some runs, but they'll hit the ball. They will hit the ball. And Kyle Schwarber, shout out to Kyle from Waltham. He obviously illustrated that point very eloquently when he hit a home run immediately to start off their season. Minus 196 for these guys, and Kyle Gibson versus Cole Irvin. I got nothing here again. Maybe a lean towards the over because I'm not a big Kyle Gibson guy, but I'm also not an over better. So I can't wait for Noli to get on the show one time, and that'll be the show where I'm like, Noli, I'm sorry, I'll look at you in the face and I'll take it over. But until then, will not happen. I don't like Cole Irvin. Not a Cole Irvin guy. I'm not a Kyle Gibson guy. I believe in the offenses here. Now that I'm saying this out loud, maybe I'll look at the first 5 Phillies team total because I'm sure you can get a little better odds than their full game team total. But I think, well, you see, you get a minus 135 for 2.5 and a minus or a plus 230 for 3.5. I don't like going up to 3.5. At 2.5 makes me uncomfortable, honestly. But yeah, I think I'm off this game too Going to be a fun watch, but we'll see what you get from Kyle Gibson, a guy that is probably a swing man for the Phillies this year in my AL East bet or NL East bet for them.
Yeah, for me, probably not going to have anything on the game. The one thing that I do have is I'm pretty heavily invested in Oakland season team total wins under 70.5. This team is in the process of just absolutely tearing itself down. This is a cycle. If you look at Oakland's record by years under their current ownership, or anybody who's currently in their front office, it's a 3-year cycle where you get guys in the farm, you build them up, you pair them with some decently, moderately priced veterans, and you have a few 90-win seasons. And then when the young guys need big contracts, then you tear it down again and you rebuild. So if there was an arrow to point, like those arrows that point, you are here. That's where we are right now. We are in the teardown part of Oakland. I actually, there's a couple of people that I talked with that said that they bet on them at pretty good odds. They have the worst record in the American League. I like that bet. So nothing today, but if you could still get a future on the A's, take them under.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that was one of my locks under. My good buddy Jimmy the Bag was a little skeptical on the Oakland A's. He's obviously seen them rebuild from nothing a lot more than I have, so I can understand his skepticism. But I think that you are right when you say that this is the beginning of their teardown. They do have those windows, and I said it once before. I'll keep saying it. The Oakland A's ownership does not want Oakland A fans at that stadium. They want purposely low attendance numbers. They want the team to be as bad as possible. They want to charge the fans as most as possible for concessions, so they can eventually move the team to Las Vegas.
So. I mean, I'm assuming everybody in here has seen Major League. It's honest to God like the movie Major League in real life, where you're trying to be so bad that you're forcing a move to a different city and a new stadium.
And as Jimmy would say, he didn't believe in the Tiger Woods story. I had to convince him of that. As Jimmy would say, I don't believe in fairy tales, man. I don't believe in fairy tales when it comes to this shit right here. There's not enough. There's not enough, actually. Yeah. Appreciate that. We're going to move on to the next game here, but before we'll shout out the chat again. Appreciate you guys as always. 120 people watching. Hit that like. I appreciate it. Christopher Commentini mentioning a key part of that movie, without a hot owner. Doc, without a hot owner. So if they had a hot owner, maybe
that's true.
We'd be a little more motivated. Christopher Commentini, AOD. What up? Appreciate you. I am a scholar. Might not be a gentleman after me almost getting to a fight this morning, but appreciate that. Crystal Warren asking the good question, but are there gloves shaped like tacos and ice cream cones? It's a good question. It would make me like them better. Lou Chase, Real Deal J, mentioning the Giants rotation, pretty filthy. Logan Webb and Carlos Rodon, they can stay healthy. That'll be a good 1-2 right there. Lucius, G Martinez, going first 5 G-men. Don't hate that at all. Rants, bananas and grapes, by the way, if you're a UFC guy, bananas and grapes. Kismet, however you say his name, plus 140 first round. Would not be surprised if that happened. And Mark, appreciate you for watching as well. Let's keep on rolling here. Long card. I appreciate you guys for joining. And Doc, thanks for your patience too.
Absolutely, man. I love doing this.
This is a good time. We're going with my next bet here. I've got it on the card already. Cleveland Guardians versus the Kansas City Royals. Like I said, I took the Cleveland Guardians money line plus 100 right now, plus 105 on Bovada. Brad Keller? Is Brad Keller good? I don't think so. I thought my man I'm gonna call him Kyle Singler because he kind of looks like it. Brady Singer, actually. Brady Singer, I thought he was a better pitcher than Keller. I was surprised that he's not getting the game at ball in game 2, but whatever, rest, and that's how that shit happens. I don't think Keller's a good pitcher. I don't think he should be minus 120. Again, I'm in a big prove it fashion. You're minus 120. You think the Royals at minus 120? I understand they've got a good lineup still, but prove it. Prove it that Brad Keller can hold down one of the worst offenses in baseball here. I need to see it with my own eyes. Zach Plesac, a good pitcher, a really good pitcher. Shittiest luck of all time, because I think it was 3 times last year he faced a pitcher that threw a no-hitter or a perfect game. I mean, he's a great pitcher, and he did well, and he did well in every one of those starts too, which was the funniest part. And the reason why I remember, he dominated in all those starts and just got the loss because the other guy fucking throws a no hitter or whatever. Zach Plesac, a good pitcher here. I'm taking the Cleveland Guardians full game money line. Even I already took it, I should say, money line, even money there. You tell me, what am I? What you had the thumbs down and made me feel better. Brad Keller, you probably agree with me, right?
I sometimes find Brad completely indiscernible from the other Keller that's pitching today. Just nothing exciting here.
Dan Kelly just mentioned that too, by the way. Too many Kellers today, and we're
fading
all of them.
It's the same damn thing. I mean, just so ho hum here. This Keller main pitch is his slider. I mean, it's okay. It tops out at 86. It's got spin is lower than it's higher than average, but it's lower than some of like the guys with the really wicked sliders, kind of like a Woodruff or guys like that. So the break on it is meh. It's just okay. And you look at the rest of his metrics. I mean, for throughout his career, the best MLB starters get first pitch strikes on usually about 63 to 67% of their pitches. Keller over the course of like the last 4 years is under 60. And in most cases, he's under 58. So I see no reason to like him here. I think that a first 5 on the Guardians makes a lot of sense. I think a full game makes a lot of sense. I think you can do a whole bunch of different things. Neither Keller, like this is just a Keller hate session for me today.
No, and I'm right there with you. I've already bet against one. I bet against the other one too. Crystal Warren putting up a good point. Do you really even need a good starting pitcher against Cleveland? You're right. I think that this is probably the worst lineup in baseball. With Miles Straw, Ahmed Rosario, Joe Ram. Thank God for Guardians fans that he got paid. Thank God. I'm so happy that you guys got him for a little bit at least. Franmil Reyes hits the ball very far, but doesn't do it often. Bob Bradley, I think is the guy's name. Bobby Bradley got traded from the Blue Jays, I believe. Yu Chang at second base, and Steven Hitaquan, who is slowly becoming a cult hero because of his last name, which is just great. Austin Hedges and Andres Jimenez. My other factor in this is that the wind's blowing out too. 8 miles an hour wind blowing out. I'm just going to hope and pray that the fucking Guardians lineup can do something for me today. Just do something. Brad Keller's the worst. I mean, Terry Francona, great manager, hopefully gets the boys going, gets them to approach, and does it. So I took them money line. I think it'll be fun to watch this game. I would like the Royals a lot, and Bobby Witt Jr., of course, has a hell of a debut. He's my AL Rookie of the Year pick, along with Jeremy Pena. I've got those two futures, which make me feel pretty good about myself right now. So we'll see. And real deal, why would J Ram or Ram stay on the team? 125 million reasons why, unfortunately. 125 million reasons why. And if he does want to leave, you can always ask for a trade and they'll get prospects for him. So still has that flexibility at least. And I think it's a pretty affordable contract too. All right, next game here, unless you've got anything there.
Nope, nothing else.
All right, next game, Washington Nationals versus the New York Metropolitans. And I saw a comment on this earlier. They're like, how do you pronounce this man's name pitching for the Nationals? I did the research, looked it up. It's Yoan Adon, not Joanne. A little yo, just like my first name with the little H, whatever we're calling it. Is a Yoan Adon versus Chris Bassett debut. I have not bet any game in this series yet. I think that this is kind of going to be a trend. It seems like I just like betting on certain series because I bet on the Astros last 2 nights, and I'm going against them tonight. That is something for later. But I don't like anything in this game. I'm interested to see how Chris Bassett does in his new location. I want to see how he adjusts, all that good stuff. I think he's a good pitcher. It was at Oakland, but I'm confident in him. And I want to see Yoan, Let's see it. Dan Kelly, the Yoan of Arc. I like the Yoan of Arc. Why not? Two of each animal, and we'll get on the boat with them. But we're not going to get on that boat today. Mine a plus 117, not nearly enough juice for me. I would want like a plus 150 if I'm going to bet a pitcher that I've not seen pitch in the majors before. So I'm off this game. I root for the Mets' demise just because I have Phillies futures, but I think they will do that to themselves. So, and by the way, I wrote down a lot more for Yoan since I didn't know who he was. Average spin rate in his fastball, 2,200. Not great. Not great. Not throwing hard enough either to make that spin justifiable. So, not a fan of my man Yoan. So I'm going to stay off. Minus 140, too much. What about you, Doc?
Nothing here for me. Agree with you on Adon here. Just average stuff, but I mean the guy. I mean, he's only 23 years old, so I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he can probably work it out here. The one thing that he does is every now and then he can get some good vertical movement on his fastball, but there's just such a limited sample size here. Way too many question marks. And with Bassett, with it being his first start with his new team, I'll probably just pass entirely on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. We're not going to force plays here. There's been a lot of passes here, and I feel bad for the people watching, but you guys have also been saying pass as well, so that makes me feel a little better. This games are just, you can't eat. It's these early games. We got to take it kind of slow. As I say that, I've had like 13 plays in 2 days, so we'll take it a little slow here, and we'll bet the games that we feel confident in. Next game, Cincinnati versus the Atlanta Braves. I think this is a little ridiculously priced, to be honest. Plus 144 for the Reds, minus 175 for the Atlanta Braves. I don't want to back Kyle Wright. There's no chance I would bet on Kyle Wright here. I don't think I would ever want to put my money in his hands, and I wouldn't feel comfortable in it. He dominated in AAA. Dominated in AAA last year, 10-5 with a 3 ERA. Comes up for the ML for the show start. 6 innings pitched, has a 9 ERA in those innings. Pitches in the playoffs too. Pitches well. I'm not a Kyle Wright guy. I need to. I'd rather take the 144, but I just don't like this Reds team either. Sorry, Crystal. Joey Votto. If you keep doing those on-field interviews, I'll keep watching. But till then, I will not be doing any of that. I think they put up a hell of a fight yesterday with Kenley Jansen, who I think is very washed up. And I have a Braves fan friend, shout out to Taylor, who keeps telling me, yeah, there's just no way that Kenley ends the year as the closer for the Braves. And I agree with you. And I agree with him, I should say. And I'll repeat that here. No way Kenley ends the year as the Braves closer. And I kind of felt the same way about Craig Kimbrell, too. I think both of those guys are a little washed up. The two most dominant closers of my lifetime have now, they're kind of on that limelight. And it's weird to say, but I just not a Kenley Jansen guy. Made the game a lot closer than it had to be. So RIP to you guys, you Brave run lines bettors out there to make that a 1-run game. But I'm going to stay off. I would lean towards the Reds at plus 144. I like that price, but just not enough offense for me to get there. And Vlad the Impaler Gutierrez here. I don't know enough about him. Not enough for me to bet on him. 9-6 last year, a 4.74 ERA, 120 innings pitched, and a 5.22 FIP. Unfortunately, 5.22 FIP. So I just can't get back that. I can't back it. I'm very sorry, Crystal. Today is not the day that I'll be betting the Reds. But when I do bet the Reds, Crystal Warren, you'll be the first person that I let know.
Yeah, for this one, I'm with you on having this be nothing. Vlad, I actually backed him a number of times last year for under props. I don't think I can do it today because the line is so low at 3.5. But just very, very average stuff. And unlike when we talked about Adon last having average stuff, he's only 23. This is Vlad's age 27 season, and so he's not like a young spry rookie here that has all kinds of untapped potential. All of his pitching metrics are just okay. He's just your average middle of the road guy. I mean, his chase rate 18th percentile, whiff rate 27th, walk rate 35th. I mean, those don't normally add up to a guy who you want to back on a regular basis. His pitch mix is pretty average. fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, and all the metrics on them. I mean, like normally I try to pull out a stat that just pops at me that I can share with the people here, but like nothing really pops one way or the other. It's just kind of meh. So we can move on.
Yeah, and two quick notes. Shout out to Crystal, who said, I think she said yesterday, Reds team total. That hits, obviously. Shout out to you. That hits. Kenny Rogers won. I appreciate the dono. My hair does look nice, apparently, right now. And that's because I look like I have a Lego like headpiece, basically. Just snap it on. I snap it off at the end of the day. So it's very nice. But he's, and Crystal adding on, he showed flashes of greatness, but you're right to wait. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's hard to tell. I wouldn't hate, Crystal, now that you mentioned, I wouldn't hate again the Reds team total. But right now it's 4.5 plus 105, 4 minus 125. I think Kyle Wright's just too shitty of a pitcher for me to bet that, and a little bit too pricey, I guess. There, Deacon Mike betting the over 2.5 home runs in Cincy, Atlanta. I like that. I do think there will be offense tonight, and Deacon is been good about those. I've seen a couple of those drop. He had that in the Brewers Cubs opening day game, I believe. I don't remember if that hit, but I've seen it a couple times, and I appreciate it. And it's a different bet. It's a different bet for sure, and I like it. I just like rooting for dingers, so I do not mind that at all. All right, next game, we've got the Dodgers, Los Dodgers, as we call them around here, versus the Colorado Rockies. Tony Gonsolin, the Catman himself, versus German Marquez. Shocking that German Marquez is still in the Rockies, but no one knows what the fuck the Rockies are doing all the time. Minus 155 for the Dodgers. Almost called them defending world champions, but they are not anymore. Plus 130 for German Marquez. Over-under set at 12. Hashtag Coors Field. I don't want to bet this game. I think Dodgers games are hard to bet in general. They're always high lines. I used to be a big strikeout over prop guy with the Dodgers with like Walker Buehler. Mixed results there. You dominated him yesterday, I believe. Oh, no, actually, you got screwed by Trey Turner. I forgot about that. So no shout out to Trey Turner. But you were on the right path, and I think you would make that bet 10 times out of 10 every day. Yep. So you don't hate that. But I think I'm going to stay off this game again. I'm showing my record up there, 10 and 2, 14 units or whatever, 10 and 3. So I think I've gotten that record because I'm not trying to force things. And I'll keep telling myself that, and I keep have to say it out loud so I don't do it. So I'm not going to force anything here. We're not going to bet the Rockies. Not going to take a minus 150 for the Dodgers, which in Dodgers terms, that's relatively cheap. But Tony Gonsolin, just not the guy I want to bet on here. He's a good pitcher, but I need to see it again. I need to see him pitch well and then start the year well. Or if he starts pitching poorly, then we'll start fading him perhaps with good money odds. So we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if the Rockies won this game outright, to be honest. But not something I will bet on here. Doc, anything here?
Yeah, just just a hint for everybody. If you do want to look at strikeout props, at Coors Field is always a nice place to look. And just quick primer as far as why.
And by the way, I looked at my email, have not gotten that email. So
that's okay. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
We had a whole lovely graphic.
It's okay.
No, the email is just not
I'll post
working.
it on Twitter. You're good. You're good.
Please do. Yes. Post it on Twitter.
Post
the show and post it on Twitter so you can explain, because I'll do the quick introduction here. You were telling me before the show. We all know Coors Field, home runs, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But no one knows why, and you're going to explain why, and you're much smarter than all of us. So it's time for us to sit back.
Let's not go that far.
Let's sit back and listen, and let's just go to school with Doc here.
No, yeah. So Physics 101 is object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. That force is gravity when a pitcher throws a baseball. So what happens the way that pitchers go, quote unquote, up the ladder, like when you have a a fastball that goes way up or a pitch that breaks, is when you're able to put spin on the ball, what actually happens is the spin coming off of the pitcher's hand, whether it's topspin or backspin, topspin makes it go down, backspin makes it go up. And so what ends up happening though is a physics term called the Magnus effect. And what the Magnus effect does is, as the ball is cutting through the air pressure at a high speed with that spin, it displaces the pressure behind it. The displaced pressure, if it's with backspin, pushes the ball up. If it's topspin, it pushes the ball down. What ends up happening in Coors Field, because there is a thin air, there isn't as much air pressure, so the ball doesn't move as much. So there was just a swing chart of Nolan Arenado that was going to show about how often he would swing at fastballs up in the zone. And the reason why of that is because balls do not rise that quickly at Coors Field. So if you are looking at a Rockies bet at home and you see a pitcher that, and actually if you look, the Rockies pitchers are not fastball pitchers that go up the ladder. So they stack their roster with those guys on purpose. So that's what I said, is that it's what ends up happening is when there's not as much air pressure, then there's not as much air to get displaced. Less displaced air means it doesn't push the ball up or down. So that's your physics lesson for today.
I love it. I love it. That's going to school right there with Doc. I love it. That's gonna be a regular segment now, Doc. So
yeah, I know.
Physics 101. We've gone to school today. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for that. We're gonna keep continuing on because we've got 2 more games left, and the last game is the game that I have a bet on, and I've been talking about for a while. And this is actually an important game to me because me and Jeffrey Slaughter have a bet on this game as well. So it'll be fun. But first, let's eat our vegetables. San Diego Padres, Arizona Diamondbacks, Joe Musgrove, which truly is one of my least favorite nicknames. I do not like Joe. I don't know what it is. I think it just reminds me of Momo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls. Shout out to Momo. But Joe's a great pitcher. Moses, I keep calling him Moses. Moose Money. You're a Padres fan, so you'll know a little bit more about this squad, so please chime in and let us know. They get the win yesterday, 3-0. Manaea, fantastic. Offense, still searching. I have not been able to watch my guy Ha-Seong Kim a lot. I was excited for him to come over. So please let me know what you think about him so far in this season. But the offense has not gotten there. Zach Davies has been kind of passed around now. He was kind of everyone's favorite young pitcher for a little bit. Padres had him, thought it was going to be good. Cubs had him, thought it was going to be good. Now it's the Diamondbacks' turn. I don't want to say that people go to the Diamondbacks like the last resort. That's where careers go to die. But the Diamondbacks are not a great squad right now, and I just want to see him. I want to see him succeed. So. Honestly, I would take the first 5 under here. I would lean towards that way. I do not think that this will be a game I'll be playing personally. I don't think I'll get to the window with this. But by the way, Paco Healy, also a Padres fan, telling me to settle down, and it's the anniversary of his no. So maybe he'll conjure it up again. And Moose saying that it's Java Joe around here. I don't hate that. Love a little alliteration there. But what do you think here about Musgrove, a pitcher that I've been kind of going back and forth on? I like him, but I don't know exactly how to feel about him yet, Doc.
Yeah, he does have some decent stuff. I don't hate him, but he's not a guy that I'm actively looking to bet on either. So, overall against the lineup that he's likely to face tonight, only a 17% strikeout rate, and but he as compared to a 30% strikeout rate over the last few years. So, for Musgrove's pitch mix, yeah, I mean. He's kind of like the inverse of a traditional pitcher because he throws his slider most often. So slider and breaking balls most often, and has some pretty good spin on those. The problem ends up becoming is sometimes the control for those can be a little bit off and he can leave them hanging. But when he's got them working though, his slider overall was 165% above MLB average for horizontal break. That is phenomenal, and it's got an absolute, it's got sometimes it goes from like 10 to 8, usually it's like from about like 9 to 8, but it just drops off the table low and away. If you can watch a video of it when he's got it working, it is wicked. It's hard to hit. The curveball actually comes in and looks a little different coming in, but then it breaks the same way. So sometimes his curveball actually looks like a four-seamer coming in and then just breaks away. So when he's got his pitches going like that, he is a tough pitcher to hit. The only problem is that sometimes there was some struggle with getting consistent placement and consistent accuracy on those breaking pitches. Because when you're a pitcher that doesn't get get ahead in the count with either sinkers or with four seamers, and you rely on breaking pitches, you have to be accurate, because otherwise, if you're all over the place, we saw that with a guy, we've seen that with a guy like Blake Snell, was his teammate. When you're all over the place, you can put guys on base real fast. So, Musgrove's walk rate last few years, 8.4%. That's a little bit above average. It's not too bad, but there's a number of games last year where he got to way too many 2 and 3 ball counts. So I'm going to wait and see on him. But if he's got that breaking ball going, and usually you can tell by like the first inning, if he's got that breaking ball movement moving, and he's making guys miss, and then he's hitting his spots with the curve, that's a live in-game bet waiting to happen.
I love that. And the more I think about it, I'm looking at Joe's numbers. He tailed off at the end of the year too, as did most of the Padres. But he struggled as the months goes on, his ERA gets higher and higher. Maybe that was a fatigue thing, because he kind of was the last man standing in that rotation. Everyone kept getting hurt one way or another, and he was always there. That's kind of maybe why I have a favorable look upon him. I don't know. I do like him. I want to bet on Joe Musgrove, honestly. I do want to bet on him, but there's not anything that I like at a reasonable price I could bet on. You could look first five first five just minus a half, minus 120. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. I get a little nervous betting the 120s. I bet a couple of them in day one, and no problem. We hit like 2 out of 3 of them. So I don't, it's not like that, but I would rather get a little more bang for my buck there. And I understand it's a Diamondbacks team, but I've said it with the Orioles, and I can repeat this statement. I don't want to bet on or against I don't want to bet against a team like the Diamondbacks this early, because they still got some life. They got some hope. They haven't gotten their ass kicked 100 times yet. So they still like, oh, why not us, man? Why can't we make the playoffs? So they still got that youthful exuberance that I can't go against right now. When they get the life beat out of them, then that's where I'll jump in and we'll start betting against the Diamondbacks. Maybe even get into a run line here or there. But I would think I would rather take the Padres here, but the minus 165, not great. The first 5, not great. Maybe if you've got bigger balls than I do, you could take first 5 minus 1 for the Padres at plus 115. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. But I don't hate people leaning the under too. I think this is Belab 69. Sorry if I can't say your name correctly. He leans under. Moose grabbed the first 5 under. I don't hate that at all. And the Chameleon asks what team the Humidors basically. I think all 32 or however many baseball teams there are now shows how much I know. All teams have a Humidor. All dome teams have a Humidor and stuff like that. And I think even like Fenway Park and all those guys, they keep the balls in like a special place for all that shit. So yeah, all the Humidors are a thing across the league. All right. This has been leading up to the main event here. I've been excited about this. Obviously, we've got nothing on this game. Let's move on. I've been excited about this. I've been talking about it all year. Justin Verlander is the cheating motherfucker. He's one of the low-key faces of the Spider Tack revolution, whatever we're calling it. Cheater. And he just got away with it because he was hurt.
He damn near invented the shit.
Yeah, he was the guy that like started all this, and whatever. I'll give him the credit for starting it, but him and Garrett Cole are the fucking 2 dudes. Like, where do you think Garrett Cole learned this from?
Well,
and Garrett Cole can't stop using it.
Well, yeah, because and Verlander Verlander learned it from Troy Percival. That for those of you that are as old as me, it's a blast from the past because Verlander and Percival were teammates on the Tigers, except for Percival used a mixture of stuff that wasn't like spider tack. It was some other stuff that he was using, plus some pine tar, plus some other junk. And then Verlander totally went to an extreme with that. And if you look at Garrett Cole's splits from his last year with the Pirates to his first year with the Astros, he went from being a fourth starter in a rotation, maybe a decent third, to being the fucking MVP. And you look at his spin rate had like it was like Trevor Bauer like. I mean, it was the highest spin increase from season to season, and you can look it up, that I have ever seen. And it went right when he went to the Astros and teamed up with Verlander, because Verlander was the godfather of this.
Okay, so now again, we've put that all on Jump Street, and Jay still in this cheating scandal. I mean, it is cheating, but whatever. We're not talking about how they banged on the trash cans. The point is, now Justin Verlander has to pitch without it, and I don't think he can do it, or I don't think he's gonna do well with it to start off with. I saw pitchers, and it was obviously tougher for them because they had to do it mid-season and all this stuff. Pitchers literally had to rebuild how they threw baseballs because they didn't have sticky stuff. Garrett Richards was a good to decent starter, and he became basically unusable without spider tack. Prove to me that you can do it. And the thing is, I don't want, I just want anyone else to be on the mound than Noah Syndergaard. That's the issue, because I don't know what the fuck we're going to get from Noah Syndergaard. I literally wrote down on my notes, who the fuck knows when it comes to these two pitchers? Noah Syndergaard has not done anything in 2 years. Justin Verlander, openly, not so openly, using sticky stuff, cheating, whatever you want to call it. Now he doesn't have any more. It's going to be a huge adjustment. It's gigantic. I took the Angels money line at even money. It's at minus 105 right now. I think they get the last game of the series. I think Justin Verlander struggles. I don't believe in this. And honestly, the way I'm talking, I should be betting the over 9 or the first 5 over. But I need to see Justin Verlander do it here. And for the people that watch the show frequently, me and my good buddy Jeffrey Slaughter, like I said, owner of Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio, we do have a bet on this game. If the Verlander Astros win, then I will be going to an Astros game in Astros gear when they play against the Red Sox. But if the Angels win, Red Sox tickets for me against the Astros. So we will see. We will see here. I will be excited to watch this game. Like I said, I think this is the game of the night just for baseball fans to see Justin Verlander come back after such a long break. And I want to see how he does without his sticky stuff, man. I need to see it. So I'm excited to watch this. Doc, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, so a couple of things with this. So first of all, Verlander has been sick all week. He's been feeling under the weather. The team didn't specify exactly what it was, but they did say he was feeling under the weather. Dusty Baker is normally not very forthcoming with information. He kind of takes almost like the Belichick role with injuries and stuff like that. So the fact that he would actually say that Verlander is under the weather, I think to me that's a clear sign, especially with it being his first time back. I think that's a clear sign that Verlander will probably be on a pitch count tonight. As far as how many it is, my guess would be anywhere between 65 to 80, probably similar to what Garrett Cole was in their first game. So in spring training, Verlander has had really good command of his fastball. His velocity was back. However, his arm, as would be expected, coming back from the Tommy John, has been very, very sore after just a few innings of work. So now you're going to ask him to go out, and you're going to ask him to pitch, let's just say 5 innings and 80 some pitches and throw at the same velocity. He also has not had great command of his breaking stuff, by his own admission. Like Verlander even said a few times, he's like, my breaking stuff is not there. So I don't know if he's good enough without his secret weapon in his cap. without the spider tack secret weapon, to go out there and use primarily only his fastball to make some noise here in the limited time he'll be on the mound. And don't get me wrong, like, I actually am a little higher than some on Verlander's outlook this year for the whole season. This early, especially when he's basically playing sick, I don't know. The other prop that, if your book offers it, that I think you can look at, which is, like, I would never in a million years think that this would be a prop that I would like look to give out on a show like this. But Jose Altuve over strikeouts. He struck out 5 times in the first 2 games. He struck out 5 times in the first 2 games. It's very, very un Jose Altuve like. And one of his, and then his strikeouts were, I mean, Ohtani, fine. Ohtani's dominant. Ohtani's the best. We all know that. But his other ones, Reed Detmers. I mean, really? Like, for real? So this is just not the Jose Altuve that you're used to seeing. The reason why he's let off for them and been so stellar is because he's been so patient at the plate. He draws a lot of walks. He gets a lot of favorable counts, and he's not doing that. I was joking with some guys that I'm in a Discord with that I'm like, he was doing his best Joey Gallo impression on opening night and just whiffing at it, just swinging at everything. And, you know, Ohtani's pitches were good, but they weren't fantastic. So anyways, if your book offers it and you can get it at, especially for a decent price for over a half, I would for sure take it. I might even consider at plus odds over 1.5 strikeouts for Jose Altuve, because he has not looked good at the plate at all.
That's awesome. I have not seen those props to get put on Bovada, but your normal legal books for sure. I could assume that. I'm actually getting a call from Watertown, Massachusetts now, so that's funny. But I think for sure I'm gonna officially make the first 5 over a play now. I think talking it through, it's 4.5 right now, over minus 105. I just don't know what you're going to get from these guys, man. And we talk about Verlander this whole time, rightfully so, but we don't know fuck all from Syndergaard either. We have no idea what he's going to give us. And I hope he pitches well, but it could be a situation where it's happened plenty of times, and God forbid 2 innings, and my triceps a little tight. Gotta go. And then we give a shitty to good Angels bullpen. You know, it's shitty when you need it to go 7 innings, but it's good when you need only like 3 or 4. So I'm on the first 5 over here for sure. I did look at, I think, a North Ender. I looked at the yes run in the first inning at minus 120. Thought about it. I'd rather just have the first 5 over, and I hope that cashes for you too, because we will both be on the winning side there if it does. All right.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. If your book doesn't offer strikeouts on Altuve, I think that there's also some value on, because he is just batting 125 in the first 2 games. And not only is he batting 125, not even really coming close. So for me to think that he's just going to open it up and just go crazy tonight is probably a bridge too far. So right now on DraftKings, it's his under half for hits is at plus 170. I think that there's some minor value on that. Not an official play, but I think that is something you can't totally ignore, because like I said, not just the fact that he's batting 125 or he struck out 5 times, but when you watch him at the plate, his discipline is off, his swing looks off, just looks all out of whack.
Yeah, and perhaps that's playing without his best friend, Carlos Correa now. We'll see how that goes, but no, I like that look. He has been striking out as of late, so I agree with you. All right, so that was a long show, and before we are done here, we are going to hit a quick commercial break here, talk to our sponsors real fast. I'm going to get some picks in order here, list them out, and we'll get them out. We'll get you out of here, guys. But first, let's hit this commercial, and after, best bets and such. So, Doc, if you could get those your best bets all in order for us too, with odds and numbers, I would greatly appreciate it. But first, Southtown. All right. Thank you to our sponsors, Southtown 101, Manscaped. Use promo code PUPSPORTS as always. All right, Doc. Let's go through these plays here, and I've got a couple of them here. I'm looking right quick to see of the Cubs, where the Cubs are, and how their money line ended up. Still don't have the first 5 money line out of Bovada. My God, they're scared. They're scared, Doc. They know. They know. But let's run through the plays before the show. I have them on my phone, so let's read them off because I tweet them out. Remember, follow me at Jose Bouquett if you want to see the plays as I tweet them. Seattle Mariners money line, I got it at plus 117. And by the way, odds all via Bovada. Boston Red Sox money line plus 139. Cleveland Guardians money line, even money. Angels money line and even money. And throughout the show, I've added these plays as well. Houston, LA, over first 5, over 4.5 at minus 105. Boston Red Sox team total over 4 minus 110. Cardinals first 5 minus a half. I did not write the juice down. I think it was minus 110, but I'll double check it here in a second. And like I said, I want to give out the Cubs. I probably will give out the Cubs, but I need to see the line first and make sure everything is all kosher. And by the way, that was a minus 110 for the Redbirds. Doc, what are you making official today?
All right, so I am going to go with, and actually, FanDuel does have a first 5 money line for the Cubs at plus 138, so I will for sure go with that. Okay. I'm with you on the Mariners first 5 money line. I got it at plus 116, basically the same price you did. The game has already started, but I did give it out earlier. I believe the Orioles Rays first 5 over 4.5 at plus 102. And I'm with you on the Guardians money line at plus 100. And actually, all my plays are at plus money today. And then I will make it official. Jose Altuve under 0.5 hits plus 170.
Yes. The Ofer. You're going for the Ofer.
Ofer. I do think Altuve will still have a good year because it's Jose Altuve and he's that good. But I don't know. When guys are in a slump mid-series, it's you don't normally see them break out in like game 3.
No, I agree with you. I would think Jose Altuve at this point of his career would be a slower starter because he understands it's not about right now. It's about October. So I agree with you. All right. So I'm going to run through one more time the plays just for the people in the back. And I'm going to ask you to do the same, Doc. So for one more time for the people, Houston Astros, Angels, first 5 over 4.5, minus 105. Red Sox, team total over 4, minus 110. Cardinals, first 5, minus a half, minus 110. I'm gonna add the Cubs, first 5, money line, plus 138. I'm gonna write that down right now, money line. Seattle Mariners, money line. Boston Red Sox, money line. Cleveland Guardians, money line. And the LA Angels, money line, 138. 117, 139, and even money. Both of those respectfully. And Doc, what were your plays one more time for the people in the back?
Yep. So all at plus money. So Cubs first 5 money line plus 138. Mariners first 5 money line plus 116. Orioles Rays first 5 over 4.5 at plus 102. Guardians money line, I'm with you there at even money. And then my sprinkle bet, I would sprinkle. I wouldn't go big, but Jose Altuve under 0.5 hits going over at plus 170.
All right. Plus 170. I love that. I want to refer to that as the hater bet. So that is funny. But yes, Paco Healy, I'll be tweeting out the additions right now after the show. Appreciate everyone for watching. Like you said, some games have already started. Very clueless to that fact right now because when I get into the show, I'm like, just into the show and nothing around the world is happening. So got a bunch of texts. Maybe my car's been impounded, like someone said earlier in the chat. Maybe I've got to go fight a dude right now. Who knows? I can't wait to figure that out. Doc, thanks so much for joining me. I hope that we can make this a regular thing. I want to make this a regular thing for sure. North Ender, thanks for watching this course. Astute Chaos, Real Deal Prime, Paco, Crystal Warren, Moose, Money, not Moses, Bananas and Grapes, James S., all of you guys for watching. The Chameleon, appreciate you guys. Shout out to Alexis for watching as always as well. Lucius Fox, I hope he watches the end of this. Shout out to him saving his aunt from a flat tire. So good guy, Lucius Fox. Appreciate you as always. And thank you, like I said, Doc. We'll be back here mañana, tomorrow morning, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. Me and my good buddy Andrew Santangelo back again. You'll remember him as the Philadelphia lad that comes with the glasses. Appreciate him for joining me. Appreciate you for joining me, Doc. We'll talk after the show, and we'll for sure hammer out a day of the week or whatever that works best for you, because the people need more Doc. We love the spin rate stuff. We love the analytics, and I need to learn physics, Doc. I want to learn some physics.
Hey, I'm happy to teach.
Fantastic. By the way, TJ Mizzy said 2-0 White Sox right now.
That over is on its way.
2-0 White Sox. Appreciate that. And by the way, T Mizzy, let me know who did that. I would love to know who did it in the chat. We might not be able to respond, but I would like to know that. And Paco Healy, am I in the studio daily? I'm not going to be in the studio daily. I will try to come here as much as possible. It is a 30-minute drive, so I will do my best. If I'm not in the studio, I'll obviously be back at my place with my lovely green screen where you can only see my nipples and up. So we will see there. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll tune in next time. Tomorrow again, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. More Say Hey plays, and we will be here every day. Thanks for watching.